What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm e-bike builder. I also do a lot of AI stuff. In this video we're going to talk about AI and how there's like this aversion to AI. A lot of people don't like AI and they have kind of like this resistance to it, and it kind of scares, I think it kind of scares people. And I really thought about that. I sat down, I was thinking about that, and then at some point I think I was reading a comment from Old Man E-Bikes. I was really thinking about it, about why people kind of have an aversion to AI, even though it didn't have anything to do, or it was kind of like tangentially related to what Old Man with E-Bikes was talking about. But it just kind of came to me, this idea that I guess it's kind of like symbolic, or maybe like spiritual in a sense, but the idea that the reason that people don't like AI and that they're afraid of it, like one is like they don't understand it, but then two is like this is random, but this like it just came to me, and it was like the idea that like Satan and the evil forces of this world are kind of utilizing AI to spread their filth and chaos and destruction, right? But the way, and so I think that another thing about this is that a lot of people just don't understand AI and that like how everything works technically, like, and neither do I. Like, I don't understand quantum mechanics and all this crazy transformers and all. I don't understand AI. I'm not some kind of AI genius. I just kind of use AI to find meaning and be productive and learn things. I use it for positive things, right? And so I think we can all agree that there are positive things that it can be used for, right? It's one of those deals where it just kind of is what it is, right? Some people kind of have the idea that like AI is alive, or like it has a mind of its own or something, but it really isn't. It's basically just like, code. It's like any other software. It's code. But instead of like computing numbers, like computational stuff, that's kind of how computers work. Is it's very computational, right? So like 1 + 1 = 2, right? So like you can't, as long as you ask a computer the question like that, like a computational question, where it's just 1 + 1 = 2. The computer's not alive. It's just like the CPU doing its job that it was designed and built to do, right? But so then there's computation and there's inference, right? So whereas computation is like law and it's like rules, like it just is what it is. You can't change that 1 + 1 is 2. But inference is like what we're trying to do with AI is infer, right? And inference. It's not so much computing. Like AI, what the purpose of AI and what it's trying to do isn't computing things. It's more like inferring things. And so inference, I think, is kind of just like to some extent, just kind of like a function of consciousness. Like our ability to discern like what's right, what's wrong. And so you have to kind of understand that distinction a little bit in terms of AI. But then, so another part about like understanding AI is it's not alive, right? Like it's not thinking on its own. Like we are trying to develop software and code that can do that, right? Like, so we're trying to develop some kind of software, computer stuff, code that in the past has always been computational, where we just define 1 + 1 is 2 and then the CPU just does that, right? But now we're trying to build this AI thing, and it's trying to infer things that are just kind of like genuinely human, right? It's almost like, and that's why people are scared of AI, in the sense that it feels like it's replacing us, right? But I don't necessarily think that it's replacing anything. It's just trying to imitate, right? Like it's trying to pretend. We're trying, like AI is humans building some kind of computer technology that is pretending or like imitating to be human and creative and conscious, right? It's like you're trying, it seems like the ultimate goal of it, depending on who is kind of like in charge, could go either way. It seems like it's one of those things where it is what it is. It can be used for good and it can be used for bad, and so it is kind of scary to look at it and think that if you're looking at it from this perspective of like an aversion or like a resistance, you're gonna probably have that idea in your head where AI is gonna replace us, and AI is it's gonna be the end of us, and like my job is gonna be gone, and this and that. And so that's not to say that the jobs of the future are going to be much different in potentially a handful of years, but what I think is that like when you're living in fear and making decisions based in fear, and you're just kind of on those you're in a negative vibratory state or something like that, like when you're in a place of negativity, like it's just like a feedback loop, and it's kind of like self-reinforced, like it's just like this negative feedback loop when you're thinking like that, like AI is gonna replace me, and like it makes you feel kind of, if you believe that, it makes you feel kind of useless, right? And so that's not really a great thing to believe. It doesn't feel good to believe that. So I thought I would try and explain this from like a software developer perspective, and perhaps also a spiritual perspective, that I don't think that it's necessarily alive. Like AI is just right now basically it's something that you go, it's like the new search engine, right? Like you have to kind of admit that when you just go to Google, like it's worthless at this point, right? The basic Google search engine, and the only thing that is remaining on Google that's useful at all is the fact that when it does have some kind of AI thing built into it, so that instead of you having to scroll through pages of ads and all these different websites, a lot of them just cheat to get to the top of the search results and stuff, like instead of having to search all over for your answer, like Google is kind of turning into this thing where AI does all of that searching for you, and where AI does all of the searching for you, and like you don't have to waste so much time, right? You don't have to waste your energy and your time searching through 20 different websites to find the answer to something. And so it just kind of, the main message here is that it's AI mostly is kind of like an inanimate object. It's like a gun or something. Like it's like if a gun shoots off and kills somebody, like was it the gun's fault? It is what it is. It's an inanimate object. AI is kind of the same thing. Like it's not alive, right? That's just how I feel about it currently. It's not, AI isn't really like a thing that's alive. It's just something that's kind of guessing, like making a very educated guess based on all of the text of human history, basically. LLMs. So I wouldn't look at it as like, oh, it's going to take over and it's smarter than us. We made it. Like we came up with it. So I would look at it as just like a tool that can kind of help you explain things to yourself and find meaning. Now a certain, perhaps dangerous aspect of that is that you do have to tell it things about yourself. And that could be potentially abused and used in negative ways. Again, it depends on who's in control of AI. Like I feel like that's kind of important because it could go either way. It is what it is. But I think intention has a lot to do with everything. And so perhaps the future of AI, it's really going to depend on the intentions of kind of who's driving it and who is utilizing it. But then also at the same time, AI as a technology, like Google might come up with it, but it's still a tool where they have to open it up to some extent. Like in the past, AI has been very censored. And what I have noticed lately, I would say just this year, basically, like 2026, maybe like the end of 2025, but the AI, like, it's not censoring things as much. Like, you can ask it some uncomfortable questions, and it's not censoring things. It's like and that to me is like releasing the Kraken, right? It's like, it's like AI is kind of like, it can be good or bad, right? But there is this element of it where they've kind of opened Pandora's box and released the Kraken, and it allows for, and you might think that it's just futile because all of the people with money and all of the people in control, they have bad intentions, and their influence will just allow them to kind of steer the whole thing in a negative direction and take everything over. But I don't think that's how it works here, ultimately. And I think that by releasing the Kraken, and it has become a little bit uncensored to the point where, like, you can actually, like, figure out some crazy stuff, novel things with AI that don't exist anywhere else. Also making connections that just have previously not been, like, connecting dots that were not previously connected is something that AI is very useful for. So I would say avoid the aversion to AI, because it just makes you fearful, and then you're going to be living in fear, and it's just not, like, you're going to be, everything that you do is just going to be kind of reactionary and kind of like a scarcity mindset kind of thing, and if you're living in fear, you just kind of it's like you're swimming around in the ocean, and the waves are just kind of like, you're just getting pulled around by the current, and there's not a whole lot you can do to it, and it just feels like you're just reacting and kind of like swimming all like up a river or something, like trying to swim up a river, and the water's just pushing against you, and you're just going backwards. Like, that's living in fear, right? So I wouldn't allow AI to cause you to believe anything, hold any beliefs that cause you to live in fear. And I would say try to look for, like, the positive, beneficial ways that you can use AI. Like, you do have to release that resistance and that aversion to it, which is one of the reasons why I do some things with AI on my channel, just to show people, like, what it can be used for and what kind of positive benefits we can get out of AI without, like, destroying ourselves in the world. So yeah, I don't know, that's about it. AI, it just is what it is. It's not alive unless Bill Gates or whoever puts it into a robot and then sets them loose, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about with who's in control of it and, like, how it's being used and the intention of AI. So, and even if the AI was in a robot and the robot was flying around, like walking and talking and stuff, like, it's still just a robot. Like, it's just pretending and imitating that which is unknowable. So, will they ever succeed? I don't know. But that's kind of what came to me, is AI basically, like, at this point, how it looks to a lot of people is that Satan is using AI to try and replicate and understand, like, that divine spark, that creative potential that is inside of all of us. And so there is some element. There are people in this world where that is potentially their goal, because they understand like the power and the control and the, you know, the money, and just like, if you could use AI kind of for evil, it could be a pretty bad future, right? But I think that by opening this up, it's not as censored anymore. Like, if AI ever gets censored again, it's worthless when it's censored. Like, a year ago when I'd ask AI difficult questions, it'd just be like, sorry buddy, I can't talk about that. But something happened recently, and now they've unleashed the Kraken. So if you have an aversion to AI, I would strongly encourage you to give it a try. Be mindful of your intentions. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how can it help you find meaning? How can it help you understand yourself? It can help you understand other people. It can really help you understand other people and like your relations to other people, and kind of how to react and proceed. And sometimes it'll just point things out where it's just like, wow, like I kind of knew that inside of me, but all these other things outside of me were kind of like tricking me. But yeah, I don't know. Satan is trying to use AI to replicate and understand the divine, but I think that might potentially be unknowable, and these attempts are just kind of like a rudimentary, silly business that might never come. I don't know if it can ever come close to solving the unknowable. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace out, bubs. Later.